Well, hello everybody. Welcome to another episode. I believe this is our third episode of our Patreon exclusive Airbrush by Beard, Drawing with Beard, and otherwise the Dragon Lord's Cave. Today we're going to be drawing on a Magic the Gathering artist proof card from 20 years ago. Pretty close to 20 years ago. From the 7th edition, the Castle. And the reason we're selecting this card today is because of the particular image of what you see within this card. Now, if we can switch over to camera 1, I can point this out.
Camera 1.
So what we're seeing here is the front, right here, the very hand and the longbow of an archer. Today we're going to be doing an archer on the back of this vintage premium Magic the Gathering artist proof card from 7th edition. Castle. And we're going to be doing this archer. So this is going to be done in graphite, black and white pencil. I'm going to go through all the different materials that are necessary. We're going to be taking it out of this plastic, of course. But before we get to that, I wanted to go back to camera 2 and show you some of the supplies that we're going to be needing.
Camera 2.
Camera 2. So, in order to create this type of work, you need certain supplies. And I have some of my own favorites here. So let me direct your attention to the table right here and the selection of pencils that I use. Well, these graphite pencils vary in different types of hardness of the graphite that we use to get either a nicer, finer line or a softer graphite to be able to shade and create those blending effects. So, to begin with, and as far as brand is concerned, I like to use a couple of different brands. So we start off with this. This is the Utrecht drawing pencils. Great pencils, very inexpensive, great pencils. However, you can also use the Staedtler. Staedtler is a great brand. I think these are called the Mars Lumograph. Also, the Derwent graphite pencils, great pencils. So for the fine line work that we're going to start off with, we're going to use an HB. So this is the Staedtler HB graphite. I'm going to use that to start. Occasionally we may go in with the fine, which is literally labeled F for fine. Then we're going to move on to the B, which is a little bit softer lead and gives us graphite and gives us a little bit more of a depth of value. Then after that, we're going to be moving on to the 2B, and I know everyone out there right now is saying, or not to be. No, it really is to be. Okay, so there's that. Then we're going to move on to 4B for some areas. Now, there is a 5B option, 5B, which sometimes I go directly to and I skip 4B. And as far as 3B, you could use 3B, but I tend to like to go right to the 4 or the 5B because you get a little bit deeper, darker look. And then finally, for those real dark values, we're going to go with the 6B. So those are all the selections of pencils that we're going to use today. Then, for our erasing and for the smudge protection and whatnot, and highlights, we're going to be using a kneaded eraser. So basically a kneaded gum eraser. There we have it. In fact, this one here is pretty fresh. So I like to work it up a little bit, knead it, as they say. And then we get it into the different shapes that we'll need. This is going to be used to not just dab, to really be able to lightly back off some of the darks if we have, or a smudge, but it also is great to go in and highlight certain areas. We can mold it to the precise point that we want. Also, if we do desire, and we need any kind of erasing that might be more aggressive, I like to use the Faber-Castell. This one is great. It's a dust-free eraser, white. Fantastic. Takes just anything off, even down to the darker lines. So that's great. And then finally, one of the supplies for shading I use is a tortillon. And these guys are great. I have them at different sharpnesses. And some of them that I use or have already used to prime things up, something like this. So this one here is a little bit thicker, it's more blunt, gives me a little wider, and this gives me the ability to blend those sketch lines to give it a smoother look. Now, I have, I'm not sure if it's in the camera line or not, but we do have a power pencil sharpener here, which is great. Boom, gets it instant. However, sometimes it makes it a little too sharp, and those very, very pointy, sharp edges can break off and can make a mess of a drawing, especially when you're working at this micro small level. So I get myself some 320 grit. That's 320 grit sandpaper, and I just lightly go back and forth until I get that point kind of just rounded a little bit. And I do it by moving back and forth. Fantastic. It takes the edge, that sharp edge that may cut into your paper and also risk breaking. So we don't want that. All right. So these are my backup pencils up here, guys. I have a little bit of low-tack masking tape, which is really great to have. This allows me to, first off, for the purposes of this camera here, to give me the ability to know what's in the camera frame and what's not. And also, if I decide to have anything stand on its own, I want to keep something in position, I use that tape to hold it in position. And this low-tack tape will not damage the back of the artist-proof card. So the subject today being an archer. This is for a collector out of California, and this individual has requested whatever I want as far as the type of archer, the specific subject matter and theme, and I always like to go outside the box. So you'll be seeing it as we develop. You'll get an idea of what type of an archer we're actually doing here. But what I recommend for a lot of people that are getting into the illustration work that have not been familiar with archery is to use reference material to get the correct or accurate hand positioning. A lot of people forget, like up here we have a my main focus or my main overall positioning in this hand here. So this is a right-handed archer, and then the left hand here that's grasping the longbow. You'll note that the arrow kind of goes on the opposite side of the hand. A lot of folks, because if you're using a more modern bow, sometimes they have a groove cut, so you're actually on the inside, not the outside. So we notice here that you have the bow on the outside of the hand when you're working on a straight traditional longbow. So I have the main image. I then have a close-up over here of that left hand that's holding the bow, and then I have a close-up of the way in which the finger placement is right around where the end of the bow goes, and you get into the quill and how they're holding it just in between those two fingers. A lot of people incorrectly hold these things, and I think this one's actually incorrect. That usually the last finger, the small pinky finger, tends to go behind, and you're usually using the three fingers. But it's up to everyone's preference, of course. But I'm going to probably, just for the purposes of being aesthetically more pleasing, I'm going to let that little finger hang out a little bit. Then the other thing I like to do is before I get, especially with the softer graphites, those numbers 3, 4, 5. I want to make sure I prep ahead of time. So I'll use this kind of a work tablet, if you will, to just kind of see what the graphite's going to give me. And I also want to take off any excess dust and so forth. But it gives me an idea, and it also rounds the edges even further beyond what the sandpaper did. And so that gives me a prep ahead of time so that when I hit this, I'm not carrying any kind of unusual cracks or buildup that I'm not aware of. I got it all taken care of here. It also lets me know whether or not that's going to be the value I want. Maybe I'll find out that actually a 5B is not what I want, and I really want something not as aggressive. And so it may tell me I want to do with a B, which is not as dark, but give me what I want. So finally, of all the supplies you're going to need when doing this kind of project, there's one that is probably, in my opinion anyways, the most crucial. And I have my assistant, Thing, to help me out with that. Thing, will you please provide me one of the most important components? Thank you very much. So, Thing has provided me from the fudge company, the Underground Fudge Company, phenomenal chocolate toffee. This stuff is just fantastic. Thing, I believe there are other additional supplies that I usually require. Would you provide that? Oh, excellent. Thank you, Thing. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. This one here, the Verona chocolate, dark chocolate, Italian milk chocolate, top shelf. great to giving creative energy and well, thank you very much then. Of course, I wouldn't forget that one. Yeah. Truffles. Truffles are crucial as well in survival mode, especially in when you're dealing with a long-term project and you really got to get into it deep. You got to have that dark chocolate stimulus going on. In fact, right now, before I begin, I think we'll test one of these supplies out. Oh yeah, look at that. That's perfect. Wow. Yeah. Highly recommended, guys. Yep. Thank you, Thing. Appreciate that. Very good. Okay. All right, guys.
Also, we're on about like a 30-second plus delay. I don't know why. So, if everyone's watching this, if you have questions or something, we will, or you are seeing stuff, if it sounds like I'm answering your question like way behind, it's because we're about a 30-second delay. So.
Yes, YouTube is having difficulties today. I have removed the artist proof card.
Oh, we are switching. All right. Camera one.
You guys are seeing this from the start. Blank canvas, or should I say card. Oh, also I like to have a little cranberry spritzer on the side. Very important.
Well, no, they can't see that because you're on camera one. So they'll just have
they
to
don't
imagine
need to see
it.
that.
They'll just have to imagine
They can imagine it. Alrighty.
All right, so we've got Corey. We've got... oh my gosh.
Well,
forgive my brain.
Hey guys, first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about the Patreon members, the different tiers, and want to thank everybody that's recently joined. We have
Dean Pearson. Well.
Dean, excellent. Good.
AJ and Dylan Bryant.
Corey, thanks for coming in. Thanks for hanging tight with all the craziness with the tech going wrong on YouTube's behalf.
All right.
And a lot of you folks, I know this is a tough time. It's the Saturday before Christmas, and a lot of you out there shopping, so a lot of you couldn't tune in, especially at this time, 5:30 or 5:45. So we understand, but this will be up there so that all of our Patreons can go back and take a look at it at any time. Alrighty. So,
and the last 2 posts that we did, the last 2 live streams are also posted on your Patreon. I guess it's called a news feed.
Yeah, the wall. Yeah.
So if you go back, if you wanted to see the old recordings, they're there as well.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, they're there. You go through. You can fast forward and reverse and slow back and forth and see every little detail as it's being progressed. And that's the beauty of having them recorded. But live gives you the ability to ask questions and inquire. Not to mention, you get to see different things happen in real time. Tonight we are going to be doing, as we have done each of our episodes of live broadcasts, we're going to be doing a drawing for a winner. So Destiny's going to bring up the Wheel of Fortune and input everyone's name. That is a member, because everybody gets to be a participant in that, regardless if they've tuned in or not. And all tiers are able to be eligible to win the prize. Tonight we have the number 7, I believe, copy of the mythical. This is the book from Origins. This is the anthology, and it's a great book. This guy right here, the one I did the cover for in 2019. It will be signed by me. And also, we have 3 bookmarks tonight. That's right. We have bookmarks. We got bookmarks. So we've got 3 amazing bookmarks. We've got the Fire Dragon.
Oh, hey, it's me.
It's you. We've got Dragon's Destiny. And we have the Ice Dragon King. So these items will be shipped free of charge to the grand winner.
Poobah.
Yes. Alrighty. So, I got this little blank 2x3 here that I'm going to be working on. And what I like to do, especially with something like this, where we have an archer, when we have, a hand that's in a lot of forced perspective, it's coming out at you, I like to start with that. That gives me my focal point. Normally I would start with the head or the center of the face, but in this particular case, I want to make sure that hand is placed in a way that's right. That's going to be what is my lead. That's going to be what I anchor everything else that I do. So
we do have a new patron that was a couple of weeks ago.
Oh yeah?
I don't know their real name. So
what are they identify? What are they going by?
Random 4 Gaming.
Oh yeah, Random 4. Yep.
So I'm just
welcome, guys.
They're not on. I'm just saying. I put them into the wheel of names, but I don't know who they are. I only know them
That's
as
fine.
random.
Whatever they identify as in their Patreon name,
Okay.
that's what we'll call them.
Alrighty.
So they're random 4.
So if they
names.
happen to win, then we just say random 4.
So, yeah, 4 random gamers have 1. Alrighty.
If they do. Yeah.
Yes, if,
All right.
if they
so
do.
that's been updated. So you've all been entered into the Wheel of Names. That's literally what it's called. Very exciting. All right.
All right, I begin.
Oh, hello, Martel.
Oh,
She said,
Martel
greetings as I
Claft.
prepare my casserole. That sounds good.
Making me hungry. Now, it's probably going to be a little difficult for them to see it first. This is going in pretty light. I am using a fine,
I can
so
see
you
it
guys
actually
know.
pretty good,
I use
so
a fine.
should be able to.
Hope everyone's doing well and managing to get all their Christmas shopping done. We sure as heck haven't. We are way behind.
I haven't even started. It's so bad. Of course, we did get snowed in, so, you know.
Yeah, we did get
We got
about
about
20,
2.5, 2 feet of snow?
about 2 feet. So that didn't help.
No! And now we're massively iced over because of the Arctic plunge that we had.
Yes.
So, yeah, no.
Yep, the old Arctic plunge. It hit us hard.
Corey says, I've just been buying for myself. Well, I mean, that works. You don't have to wrap anything. AJ says, I wrapped gifts today, went better than anticipated. Well, that's good. Good. My wrapping usually just looks like a bunch of wrapping paper kind of smooshed together with a bow on top. Because I did not inherit the artistic side. So it just kind of gets crumply, and it's like, well, it's the thought that counts. It's what's inside the wrapping paper that counts more. So there you go.
That's right.
Oh, Dylan says, awesome AP card. Love to see how it turns out. Nice. Hello, Dylan. I am excited as well. I get to see it in real time, in YouTube time, and OBS time. Woohoo.
That's a lot of times.
That's a lot of time. Can't forget the parsley and sage.
Oh.
So bad. So bad. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. So how many people are going to get coal in their stockings this year?
Yeah. Well,
Are we all going to get visited by Krampus again?
Yes, visited by Krampus.
Does anybody have any wishes for Christmas? Do you have any gift ideas? I wanted a cleverly disguised broom in my stocking, so we'll see if that happens. Oh, Dean says, we only had 4 inches here in Newcastle, and my presents are all wrapped and under the tree since Thanksgiving. Look at you!
Oh,
Nice.
Overachiever right there.
So you only got 4 inches of snow in Newcastle. If I'm not mistaken, I think Newcastle is right in the border of Maryland, I believe, or close to it. I think we actually drive right through there when we travel to Florida and Tennessee. So it sounds like southern PA didn't get a lot. We thought we were only going to get like 4 to 6 inches, and then within the first hour we had 4 inches. We were like, oh boy.
Yeah, we got hammered.
It was because of me. I kept saying I really wanted to go sledding. I really wanted a good snow. Because we normally don't get snow because by this time we're preparing to leave for our Florida shows. So we normally don't get snow till like right before we leave for Florida, of course, because then we're shoveling out the camper. So I was actually excited to see the snow because now we get a white Christmas. But 2 feet's kind of like, oh, okay. Apparently Mother Nature was listening. Hello, Greg Norris. Greg says snow. I know. Such a foreign thing. Of course, I think in Florida, you guys had some pretty cold temperatures a couple of nights ago. I saw a post from someone that said that Tampa went down to the 40s, which is that's pretty chilly, especially for that part of Florida. Oh, okay, Dean. I'm thinking of different castle. I think I'm thinking of Green Castle. Okay, I got you. That's right. You're north of Pittsburgh because you do the Steel City. Cool. Do you guys all have your houses decorated? Got some trees up? Got the lights up? We finally got all of ours done.
Yeah. Finally. But we did enjoy a little bit of sledding. That was nice. Nice break.
That was fun. Sledding before the shoveling brigade. Corey, you had 2 inches of snow. Okay. So it really did vary. It was all over the place. I think what happened where we are in Pennsylvania, it looked like it stalled. So I think that's why we ended up getting a lot more than expected.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 9 people online. It's pretty cool. So we get some more people on here. Dylan says, I enjoyed seeing Simon supervise your sledding.
Oh, yeah.
He was. He tried to steal the sled a couple of times. A surprise delivery of some munchies. So you get your sugary goodness and I get some other munchies. Huzzah. Because if I had that much chocolate, I'd be bouncing off the walls.
Well, that's kind of what I do anyway, so it works for me.
You should bottle up your energy and sell it.
Oh, God. All my life I've been told that.
Crazy Eddie's adrenaline. Can be yours for 2 easy payments of $19.95.
A one-of-a-kind energy sale.
You know, that would actually be really funny to, like, partner with an energy drink company and just have, like, the picture of Crazy Eddie on it.
Yeah.
That would be fun. AJ says it passed us in southeastern Michigan, so we got an inch or so. Yeah, I was going to say, normally Michigan gets a ton of snow. Corey says, I can see this is going to look cool. Perhaps a Nazgul archer? I don't even know what Nazgul
He nailed it.
is.
That's very good. Excellent, Corey. Excellent observational skills. Indeed, it's going to be but more of an undead, but yes, very much motivated upon the Tolkien Nazgul. Excellent observations.
Nice.
I like that.
You just won like an advanced version of Pictionary.
Yes. Yes, excellent. Excellent.
Also, I apologize, guys, if we don't have any like ambient background music or anything. With YouTube being as fickle as it was with the live streaming, if we play any music and get a copyright strike, that's it. We're done.
Yeah.
So I can't.
Yeah.
I literally don't have any music to play that's royalty free because the bot is so bad. It picks up on royalty free music and goes, this must be owned by someone.
I know. Unbelievable.
The only thing I could do is literally just create from scratch and then just keep it unlisted. I mean, I don't know. I could try something, but if it sounds like somebody else, then it would get striked and all that other stuff. So
Yeah, it just isn't worth it.
yeah. AJ says, fantastic. Thank you, AJ. It is looking very epic. I was thinking it was going to look like the Selesnya.
Oh, the Selesnya Sagittars, huh?
A.K.A. NSYNC. I thought it was going to look like the boy band Archers.
The boy band Archers.
It's all, I don't know who had said that, but it just stuck. And every time I see it, I can't see it. There you go, Corey. Get your music going. Yeah, that's true. You guys could have your own music on your end going. And then kind of have a mix. So, do you guys have any fun Christmas traditions that you like to do, or holiday traditions, whatever holiday you celebrate? Are there any specific things that you do? Like, do you play board games? Do you go caroling or anything like that? Just curious to see. I know a lot of people usually have their present opening and everything by the early morning, and then they're done. We make ours like an all-day marathon because we tell stories about each thing.
Yes.
It's always interesting, though, to hear, how people celebrate their holidays, too. Corey says, did you ever see the Black Cauldron? Reminds me of the Horned King.
Yes. See,
go.
Corey's tapping right in.
Yep.
He's tapping right in. So right now, all I do is put in all the line work. And then I will choose a light source, and then that will dictate where the shadowing is going to go.
No traditions for Corey. Dean says he listens to Christmas music all day after unwrapping the presents. Awesome.
Well, I have been pretty much spending all of my time, guys, working on the Airbrush by Beard Studio Garage, where we'll be doing a lot more of the automotive airbrushing. In fact, we've got a really killer piece coming in. It's a Mitsubishi 2012 Mitsubishi, basically a race car. You know, it's going to be done with yin yang style dragons, the Japanese style dragons.
That's going to be exciting.
Yeah, it's a really exciting piece, and the whole entire one side's and it's all going to be done in smoke, almost like smoke style, where not quite ghosted, but you'll get as you turn around the car, some areas will become darker, some will become lighter, and the gradient tones will be a little more pronounced. In other locations they won't be as pronounced. Really cool. It's going to be a full, basically a ice dragon and a fire dragon, one on each side, driver's and passenger side.
In our brand new garage.
Yeah, it's been one hell of a project because I've never done it before, so I had to basically I just kind of learned off the fly and did all of the construction work with the help of my son and, well, actually the whole family, my son, my daughter, and my wife. But laying in a real solid ceiling at the 10-foot mark, putting in basically 2x4s, creating a whole new structure in between the joists and the rafters, and then insulating, and then putting in the insulation on the walls, followed by, well, putting wall boards up. And mind you, I had to do it around existing shelves that were bolted to these beams, because this garage had no insulation, had nothing but tons and tons of wood shelves that had been built in we didn't want to get rid of. And to tear that down would have cost us a fortune to put it back up. So I actually had to cut the panels, the wall board paneling, around the shelving. Precision cuts. Yeah, I'll be doing a videotape to show you guys all that, because it was insanity. Yeah, and so right now we only have one more wall to do, and then it's on. I've actually been working on a combination of painting, and I'm now working on the final wall. Destiny and I, we did a lot of painting last week.
Mm-hmm. Corey says his new tradition is going to be watching our demonstrations. Yay!
Awesome.
Awesome. Yeah, if you guys know anybody, family members, friends, anybody that would be interested in watching artist demonstrations, send them our way. Send them to the Patreon. You can check out all of the tiers and all the goodies, starting at only $5 a month to be a Dragon Lord minion. I know a lot of people are looking for things to watch because a lot of like TVs and movies are kind of in that in between right now. So hey, support an artist, support independent businesses and artists and musicians and everybody. And then you get to see all of this, you get to win stuff each time we have a stream.
Alrighty, so now it's on to the HB. So I went from the fine, now I'm going to get into the HB, which is for some of those subtle tones especially the finer detail ones. My choice on this is to have the light source coming from the left going down this way.
That is amazing that you can do that on such a small canvas. It really is a small canvas. That's a very small canvas to have that much detail.
2 inch by 3.
Ooh. Is that the smallest canvas you've ever painted on or drawn on?
Well, as far as, you know, drawing wise, yeah, cards pretty much, I think cards are for the most part for a lot of people the smallest you're going to get.
Has anyone had a random like suggestion of like, hey, draw on this like eraser for me?
There is several artists out there that draw on these, I mean, just postage stamp size. It's really crazy.
I could draw one smiley face. Goodness gracious, Dean.
I did hear a ding. What is the ding for?
The ding was from Dean Pearson.
What was it?
Another order.
Oh.
Dean, you are like
that's awesome.
Supreme wizard. Supreme wizard.
Yes, on our Patreon tier, he's one of our highest tiers.
He is our wizard.
But he has been a big support of our work.
Thank you so much.
Can't thank you enough.
My goodness. Well, that just made my Christmas. There's my Christmas present. That was my Christmas present made. Thank you, Dean. So how are these HB pencils, like, how do they...
Well, this is, the work? HB is, you know, more or less kind of like your number 2 pencil. It's got a relatively hard lead, but not, or graphite, but it's not to the point where you're going to get super dark values, but you can make it if you push down hard enough, but we don't want to do too much of that and puncture through the card. So even though the card is C2S 12-point cardstock, we want to make sure that we're just using the softer the lead, the darker the value. So therefore HB. So you started with fine, you go to HB, and then we're going to go to probably I don't know, most likely a 4B, possibly a 5B to get some of the real dark areas in.
And then you can still use like the tortillons?
Yep.
Smudgers for it?
Yep. That's you know, we use those tortillons to smooth things out where we didn't want to have too much of a sketchy look to it. Softens it. Okay, so what's nice about this is I can get in, it'll keep me tight and fine with the detail. I won't, when you get into the softer lead, you are at the mercy of a lot more smudging going on. So you use that much more sparingly. So like I was able to get real tight in that location right there. One of the things too is I never really 100% know what I'm going to do when I start off. Like I took a few moments as I was staring at this white card before anything went down on it. I knew I was going to do an archer, and obviously I have a variety of reference to go by, pose and position and whatnot. But the actual way in which it was going to deliver, I didn't really have. There was a moment where I was thinking, oh, let me go do a female. But then at the last moment, I said, no, I got to go evil. I got to go Nazgul. I've got to go undead. And that was it. I just kind of wait for it to speak to me. And that's the fun part about doing these kinds of things, where the client, just says, hey, any way you can come up with an archer, go for it. I want something unique. Well, there you go.
Can you airbrush on these?
You can. Actually, when I do the color ones, which I got a commission to do some color ones once I catch up on my other work. I'm still working on Greg Norris's big painting, of course. Is Greg on, by the way? Did you say that?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Well, once I get done with his and the vehicle, we'll start working on the full color. I've got a set of Elder Dragons, original nickel bolus chromium palladium Moors, and Arcady Sabbath legend artist proofs. So I'll be working on those. Those have been long sold out for a long time ago, but this gentleman had some he'd purchased, and he wants to have them done. So what I'm doing right now is I'm going into those areas of detail that are really tight and small and fine. So I'm avoiding some of the bigger pieces, in the cloak and stuff. I'll get to that later. That's when we'll go to a different softness of graphite. Speaking of graphite, when I was very young, I was about 19 years old, I went with a friend of mine and we did some diving into a flooded graphite mine in Rhode Island. It was an awesome experience. Talk about graphite mines underground. Look, and we were about 40 feet underground, and it was amazing because back in the early 1900s and I think late 1800s there was a lot of graphite mining, and the thing is, these were basically drilled into the side of mountains, and so we got dressed up in our scuba gear and basically went on a rope burrowing through a 2-foot diameter hole that went about 25 feet through the side of a mountain, and then into this cavern that looked beautiful, stalagmites and stalactites of graphite, and then slid, because it's graphite, slid all the way down into a hole. It looked like the land of the lost. It was amazing, and the way it sparkled, and just fascinating. Of course, then we dove underground. We found the old rail cars and that used to ferry the graphite out of the mines, some old Model T cars, just amazing stuff. Because you always start to think in your mind, at any time could one of these collapse, and well, guess what? You're underwater and you're in canals, you're dead. But we traveled through one of those canals, underground caverns and tunnels, and it took us on the other side. It was literally a giant open underground oasis is the best way to put it. It was amazing. So graphite has been a rather interesting friend of mine for a long time. I've not only drew with it, but I also explored into the caverns with it.
I think my claustrophobia would get the better of me.
I couldn't do it now. I think about it. I go, oh my, how did I do that? But I guess when I was a kid, you just don't have as much fear.
I beg to differ.
Well, it was one way too. You could not back out. You had a rope on you, but there was no way to back out in a 2-foot round tube.
Yep,
A 2-foot diameter tube, human body, you're basically like a snake shuffling your way through.
Yep.
But you cannot turn around. If you panic, you're done. You're done. Now, everybody that has any remote level of claustrophobia is right now going, Ed, get back to drawing. Stop talking about that.
Yeah, I think I would choose being like, out in the woods at night somewhere than being in that kind of situation. Because I like to be able to have my arms out and not be stuck in a small space. I need the open air.
Yeah, no, you don't want to be claustrophobic when you're diving into underwater tunnels, that's for sure. In flooded graphite mines.
AJ says, yep, that's going to be on the list of things not to do. Right there with you. I think if the cave were, if it were a large cave, I think I'd...
Well, it was a large cave. It was just that tunnel you had to go through, the 24 feet of 2 feet. And that was what, boy, yeah, it made you think. He was a rescue diver, so a friend of mine. So I felt I was in good company, anyways. But I was practicing to be a diver. Back in those days, getting certified. I never did. I never got certified though. Took the course, never got certified. Never finished it. Okay. So I feel like, I've used this, maybe just this one last thing right here. This little amulet. Yeah. Well, actually, no. I've got some stuff down here to work on. Well, I've got this HB. Now it's time to switch it out. Let's go with a little bit of a softer graphite. Let's see. Okay. All right. So I'm using the Derwent graphic. This is a graphite, and it is a 4B. So I can get right into the darks here. I want to really clearly define his bow at this point. And we got a little dust coming off of, even though I wiped it off pretty good. And there we have it. You saw it. It broke. No! So I go in and that's what happened. The softer lead, or graphite, I keep calling it lead. The softer the graphite, the easier it is that the tip's going to break. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to get my sandpaper. Take that tip down. And we'll try that again. So my background, I'm going to maybe put just like a tree here. Just give me something to differentiate the darks that I'm going to put in there. So who else is on? You said we had 9 people, so who are...
We're down to 8, yep.
We had 8.
The 7.
Mm-hmm.
The people I had said before. So Corey, Dean, AJ, Dylan,
Oh, AJ.
and Martell and Greg Norris.
Okay.
Yep.
Now you notice as I get to the edge of this card here, I'm kind of doing a single direction stroke up and out and away from the card edge because I don't want to be going back and forth because I'll nick the edge of that card. We do not wish to damage the vintage 20-year-old card.
If 20 years is vintage, does that mean I'm antique?
You'll hear me blowing off that excess graphite every now and then. Now I'm going to switch again. This time I'm going to switch to a, maybe we're going to go with, let's see what a B looks like. Yeah, so I'm going now with the B. So I'm going a little bit softer, but not as aggressively softer as what I just did in the background. So I'm going in with something that's not as hard a graphite as the HB, but will get me a little deeper shadows where I need it without being too soft.
Martell says 100 years is an antique, but cars are different. Aha. I'm not an antique. Yay. That's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yep. Yeah, I believe 25, is it 20 or 25 years makes a vehicle eligible for an antique plate.
I think it's like 20.
Or just vintage. I don't know if they have, different states probably have different rules on that.
Yeah. If that's the case, that means in another 5 years the Dragon Lord could technically be...
Ah, my Dragon Lord van. Yes, it's 20 years old this year.
There you go.
Oh, speaking of Martell and some of the other collectors who have ordered the Autumn by the Shore to have framed, the moldings have come in, all but one, and I've ordered the gallery plexi, and that's going to be coming in sometime next week, we're told. The snowstorm really put a damper in anything that was supposed to arrive, but I mean, everything is taking weeks. We've had some packages that were shipped out December 9th, and they are not delivered yet. So we're talking priority mail, 2-day. It's supposed to be a 2-day delivery. And when we, look at the tracking and we go to the post office and talk to the postmaster and anybody, they're like, well, it's still in transit and there's nothing we can do about it. It's like, wow. You mean it's stuck in some hub somewhere?
Mm-hmm.
But that is what's happened. So this is where his edge of that hood comes in, right there. Yeah, I can honestly say I've never done a undead archer before. It's kind of a cool concept.
It is. Because I don't remember one either.
No.
Speaking of orders, I want to say a thank you to everybody that did your Christmas shopping with us this year. I know a lot of you on here did some shopping, so we really appreciate that.
Yeah, because you folks were our only income since March, since everything got closed down, so we really do appreciate it.
That and the Patreon here, you're subscribing each month, and so thank you very, very much for your continued support. Our Dragon Lord minions and acolytes.
And wizards.
And wizards.
And do we have any warlords? I don't know if we have any warlords.
Wait, I think we have 25. Yes, Martell Claft is a warlord.
Ah, excellent.
She is an epic warlord. And Anthony as well, AJ. He is also a warlord.
Nice.
Thank you very much, AJ. What does that make me? Just the Dragon Lord. What?
You the MC.
The MC. All right, that works. MC Tech Guru in training.
You are the Mecha Dragon Lord.
There you go. Mecha Godzilla.
Mecha Dragon Lord.
I kind of want that to be a thing now. You have to make like a Mecha Dragon Lord. Go around that being like, that's me.
Well, it's kind of already a Mecha Dragon Lord. It's a machine.
True. Did you ever consider doing that? Making a painting of the van?
Yeah. And then I think about the 900 plus hours that it took me to paint the murals on it, and thinking about that it's going to take me X amount of hours now on top of that to draw a realistic version of the van with all of its murals as is. So I'm basically redundantly doing it. But I'm only doing maybe two sides, the front and the side. So I could possibly get away with it. Might not be too bad.
Have like a massive dragon flying overhead. Smoke and magic coming from the van appears to life. Oh my god, it is the Dragon Lord in dragon form.
That would be cool. Actually, I could do it in take some of my artwork that I've already done, that I've hand painted, and then bring a photograph of the van into Photoshop, and then drop it into one of my backgrounds.
That would be fun. Oh my god, have like a Where's the Dragon Lord series where they're just hidden in all your pictures. Somewhere in this piece, there's a van.
So as you can see, guys, I'm putting the shadows heavier on this side because the light's coming in from that direction down this way. Let's see. Since this is the shoulder, this is the tree, would finish off there. And we're going to cast a little bit of a shadow here.
Corey asks Moonlight. I'm not sure what that's.
He is correct.
Oh, okay.
Corey is nailing. He's like 100% right now.
Good job, Corey.
Well, the undead wouldn't do very well out in the sunlight, so we figured, let's go with the moonlight. That's why we have a night scene in between the trees kind of thing going on.
He's like a Spartan who will fight in the shade.
Yes. And the bows shall glow.
Night bright, but with a twist.
It is. Deadly one.
Kind of reminds me of art class back in high school. And Mr. Stolo would talk about the technique that you used of each of your posters. And then he would be like, all right, class, you have to guess what's going on here. And then they would all guess, and he would look at me and be like, all right, that's me, tell us the story.
Yes, well, we were running around like crazy chickens with our head cut off while my dad was painting this. We were shooting Nerf dart guns at him, and of course that would immediately distract him, and he'd have to join in.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then began the throwing of cheese macaroni and hot dogs.
I think that happened like once.
And other food. And then we quickly realized, nope, this is not a good idea.
Or the stuffed animal fight.
Oh my God, yes.
The Beanie Babies.
The Beanie Babies.
They just went flying.
Hundreds of Beanie Babies were chucked into the air.
Of course.
All the while I was painting.
Looking back on that, though, with how much some of those were worth, I kind of regret chucking a couple of those.
Yeah, well, you
that
guys
reduced the value.
You still have an amazing collection. I know Dustin
has an amazing collection.
Yeah,
I
Dustin.
have a few, but I think I ended up giving a lot away at that one yard sale. I think the little girls down the street have most of them.
Well, they have several thousands of dollars in special, limited,
that
ultra
Barbie
rare.
dolls.
Yeah, ultra rare Beanie Babies.
Yes. If any of you have children and you get your children dolls or toys,
Don't let them have access to scissors either.
Yeah, don't let them be hairstylists. Listen,
Yeah,
it was a phase. Don't let them
You
have
butchered.
Butchered?
Yes, you butchered their hair. You hacked them off like
I thought I could be a hairstylist at one point in my life, and I realized no.
And everybody got a shag hairdo.
Yes. No, it was more like that that cartoon in the 90s where the girl kept cutting all her doll's hair, and they had little specks of hair everywhere. It looked more like that. It's just bad. So yes, if you have children, don't let them have scissors.
Oh yeah,
Or dolls.
you hacked to death some of the most rarest Disney special editions. There was a 35th anniversary.
No, that one I didn't. The one with the blue and the silver dress. I gave that one back to Mom. I didn't do anything with that one.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, that's good.
No, I value my life. She would have hunted me down. No, it was just the rest of them that I found out later on were worth a ton of money. So, if you get your kids a doll or a toy, you might just want to buy a second box and then put that box in an attic somewhere and then just say to your kids, you're going to have a copy of each. Use this one and love this one and then make big bank on the other one 20 years from now. It's absolutely amazing. The value of some of this stuff. Just incredible.
You had, the princesses. A lot of the princess. Yeah, Disney Barbie princesses.
Nope. Oh no! I'm sorry, AJ.
And what happened?
He says the figure/statue collector in me is crying right now. No, that was a phase. I only destroyed them when I was a child, when I didn't know better.
Fortunately, she didn't get her hands on my wife's Cher doll, vintage,
that I did
original,
not.
in mint condition
Nope.
Cher doll from the early 70s. You know, when Cher had her long hair and before her nose job and everything else, looked like a real, true Native American in that black and silver dress that she had. I mean, this doll is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's in great condition.
Mm-hmm. No, instead I have a bunch of brat dolls that are worth absolutely nothing.
I don't think I think they are, and I think they're going to keep getting, because those are the ones that were
right
done.
Now they're about worth $10 to $15.
It's ridiculous.
Of course, those are the ones that I kept. No.
But you've got the I think it's the Thunderbird, the 62 Thunderbird version.
Yep. The
Ford Thunderbird car, which had the stereo that actually played, which was incredible.
It had a stereo and it had Bluetooth built in.
Yeah, that early on, when Bluetooth had just came out. Just fantastic.
Yep. Martel says, I bet she's wearing a Bob Mackie.
Oh, you mean the Cher doll?
I don't know what a Bob Mackie is.
He's a designer.
Ah. Probably. Oh, Corey had said in regards to the moonlight, with the bow and everything, he said an eerie green glow.
Yes. That's the beauty of black and white. It can be any glow you want, any happy colored glow you'd like. This is your undead moonlight archer after all.
Nope.
All right, so now we get into the fun stuff, guys. Now we start taking some of the tortillas.
Tortillas?
Not tortillas. That's for later when we have dinner. But no, for now it's the tortillion. Yeah.
You know, that would be a really funny prank to just take a bunch of wraps and roll them up and then be like, here's your tortillion, Dad.
Oh, great. So, get a close-up view. You can see that it's got a lot of sketchiness to it. However, once I'm done with putting this in, total changes occur.
Excellent.
Sometimes I leave a little bit of the etching look, but not a lot. I leave it where I want that texture.
Yeah. I want this as like a full-blown sketch now, like an actual print size. It's so cool. Oh, Corey asks, did you ever use color highlights in a black and white picture?
Yeah, I've done usually colored pencil.
Mm.
All right, so now watch what's going to happen. I'm going to back off the brightness to some of these trees back here. This will make the background kind of dissipate, fade back a little bit.
Ah. Martel says, Bob Mackie designed for Carol Burnett too. Sonny and Cher show was great.
Oh, yes. Good old Sonny Cher. And yes, the Carol Burnett show. Oh, she did have quite... Yeah, I remember some of those sparkling sequin gowns that she would have on... She'd come out on show in the later years.
AJ says, I second that. A print of this would be really unique. It would be. Sorry, Dad. I keep giving you ideas. we just need a few clones of you. That's all.
This is the part that I love, because this is where it brings the depth of field out. You know, you just start to fade that background down, and it allows the main character to come right out. I don't know if you're able to actually, you can see it already.
Yep. That is really cool.
It's there, and yet it's subtle.
It makes it look like it's now 3D.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. Excellent.
Yeah, it's really cool.
Corey says, I'll buy a print with colored highlights. Let me guess, with the eerie green?
Yes, actually, yes, the arrow.
I kind of envisioned some burgundies and some purples in his outfit. With brass.
Well, you know, I believe he is, well...
Maybe some greens.
His alignment, this, I believe, what I think this is a cursed archer.
Oh.
But he was a once noble archer and was cursed by an evil sorcerer. So he is chaotic good. I would give him a chaotic good status. What do you think? Am I off on that? Corey,
you're asking me.
Corey,
I don't know.
what would you, if you knew, if the background, the bio of this character is that he was once a noble archer, honorable, but he was cursed by an evil sorcerer. And he is now seeking forever revenge to try to hunt down this sorcerer. What would you classify him as in the world of D&D? We go to Corey for the expertise in the D&D, yes.
Corey says lawful evil.
You know, yeah, sure. You're right. I would go with that. Yeah, lawful evil. Absolutely. Kind of like Ghost Rider. Or the Spectre. Yeah, I would agree with that, sure.
I think I'm chaotic evil.
I'm just chaotic.
No, actually, I think I'm more chaotic good. Because I mean well, but around technology, it just explodes. Like, it's just...
Yeah, chaotic good is definitely
I think
right.
I'm chaotic good. No, wait, you're chaotic neutral. It's just a constant...
There's nothing neutral about me.
No, but that's the point. It's a chaotic neutral. It just doesn't work. Someone looks it up and they go, but this doesn't exist. It's like, and yet here we are. Martel says the arrow should glow green for sure. Corey says the most difficult alignment to play is true neutral.
Huh. And that goes without saying, even in life.
AJ says chaotic neutral is always fun. That is actually a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, that's funny. I've only ever played one evening of D&D, and it was interesting. I just couldn't really follow along very, very well. I'm more of a video game type person myself.
All right, so what I do now, I'm just going to put this there for a moment. I'm going to go into my eraser. Destiny, would you switch?
Oh, gosh.
What? It's right here. It just decided to, I'm not going to tolerate this anymore. I want out of here.
Sorry,
the archer was like, I just want to just leave immediately.
What do you mean?
Well, what I was going to do is switch cameras.
Oh, okay.
But let me
Want me to...
give me a second. We'll
Okay.
switch over.
All right.
Because what I want to do is I want to show them how I'm cutting the eraser. This drawing became so lifelike. It decided to fly.
He
just fly off the table.
He's trying to go find the woods. He's got to go shoot. He's got to go shoot someone else with an arrow.
All right. Actually, I think I can stick to camera one and actually do it right here.
Okay.
So, guys, I'm taking my Faber-Castell. And the Faber-Castell is a great dust-free eraser, and I'm going to make a nice chiseled point with this because I want to get into some sharp highlights on this. So we're just going to go I'm taking the X-Acto blade. Don't do this on a Sunday afternoon if you're my daughter.
Hey.
Because anytime she picks up a blade on a Sunday, we wind up in the hospital.
One time.
With one of these.
10 years ago, and I can never live that down.
No, you can't.
That's fair.
All right, so I'm just going to chisel that down.
Yes, for the sake of the story, since people are probably wondering now, why was Destiny using an X-Acto blade? I was trying to open a tag for a belt, and they have those really thick plastic tags. Well, I couldn't find a pair of scissors, and I was a teen, so I was impatient. Big surprise. And so I just went to Dad's studio and went, well, there's an X-Acto knife, and I went to go zhwink, and I missed, and it went right into my finger. But I missed the main artery and the main nerve, so...
Yeah, that's good.
I just have a neat little scar on it now.
So we have here, guys, we have a very nice chiseled point there we're going to use. All right, so
no more flying away.
What I want to do is I want to bring that bow just a little bit higher peak here.
Corey says, flying undead archer. He has the ability to fly. But only downward. Perhaps he was practicing his super stealth. Or whatever that would be. kind of interesting. The eraser makes for like a reverse highlighter.
Yeah. There. Okay. So now, the last thing I want to do on this is go back in and try to just really redefine a couple of deep areas. I think I'm going to try to use let's see what, yeah, I'm going to going in with a 6B, guys. This is the darkest of the dark. Here we go.
Dark, dark. And the dark, dark woods with the dark, dark pencil.
It is.
And the dark, dark archer. Now the question is, if he's undead, does he have an ability to see, like, to have night vision? Like
Most definitely.
Would? That'd be cool. Corey says the eyes glow bright red. I could see that. Either red or the neat reflective eyes that like wolves have. That'd be kind of cool. You see that in the middle of the woods and then suddenly, arrow. He says undead can sense the living. Interesting. I did not know that. Now, for anyone out there that ends up wanting to be of the artistic type, they should know what kind of tape you use.
Yes, very low-tech white masking.
That way there it doesn't ruin the actual piece.
Mm-hmm.
You can still hold it up. Good to know.
That's right.
Meaning don't go out and buy duct tape. That would not be well.
No. He's upside down.
He's bat. He's a bat archer.
Get in there and redefine this just a little bit. There. See, I needed to fade out the back of his hood just a little bit. I'll go back in now and just do a small... There. Make it a little softer, that way that string really, the bowstring can really pop.
AJ says, hanging from a tree? Gotta do everything to line up the perfect shot.
That's right.
That actually reminds me of a video that I saw a few days ago. I don't know how I saw it. I think someone on Facebook shared it. But it was a woman that was on horseback. And it was like a full gallop. And she was shooting arrows at targets and hitting every single one perfectly.
Impressive.
I was like, oh my gosh.
The Mongolians were phenomenal at that. One of the best
Amazing.
horsemen ever. I don't know if you guys can see those lines, those deeper, darker lines, but that helps to, you know, define the edges and whatnot. And that I did. I go back and do those last minute tight detail.
Gives it more depth.
Yeah, that's after I've used the shading tortillions.
Corey says, I was just making a Mongol figure on Hero Forge. Well, there you go. He tuned in to the power of the Mongolians. Excellent.
Okay. A couple last minute little details there.
That was incredible timing. Like, wow. That was just like, boom.
Well, the objective is to come up with a 2-hour session, and I'm thinking this just about did it, right?
Well, we technically went live at 5:45. I think you would talk for about 15 minutes or so. So it's only 7:09. You did that in an hour and 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. Well,
Not less. That is impressive. That's like, oh, hi.
there. All right, and finally,
Wow.
I believe a signature is in order. Let's see, I think I'll do the signature right here. Actually, I'll go with we'll do an HB. And that's the end of that tip. But it works. All right. And this is the first and only card I've done, and probably only card I will do for 2020. There you go. Dated as well.
There you go.
That fits in nicely into the final presentation. I think I'll do just a little more eraser highlight. And that one I'm going to use the kneaded eraser because I can just pick it right up. There. That's it. It's tough not to have your hands get in there and smudge when you sign. There. Nice. All right, folks. And there you have it. So once again, it is the Castle MTG 7th edition artist proof card. And on the back,
Huzzah.
the Undead Archer.
A round of virtual applause, yes.
All right. So, just a little background on this. If you folks are interested in an artist proof or a proof card with drawing and illustration on it, they start around $100 and they go up. Black and white will go up to about $300, and then getting into color starts at around $325, $350. That's not including the cost of a Magic the Gathering artist proof card, especially one like this 20-year-old card. So that's something extra. But on my website, I do offer a free Fantasy Artist Showcase Collector Card Series Proofs Series. This is Series 1. There are a variety of different art cards that I had produced. How many was in the set? Do you remember? Was it 27, 29 cards? It was a small...
30 cards.
30 cards, okay. It was a small artist proof card set. They were all just proofs, all whitebacks. It was a fantasy art card set, and those are the cards that you get free with the purchase of a drawing. Again, they start at $100. We're going to modify our site tonight, and we're going to add additional upgrades, because right now you can only get the $100 one, which is a more simplified version than this. And this way you can choose, the level. And there's a whole bunch of options for characters that you may want to have. And so basically I give you the option to pick a character. And if you have something special requested that I may not have listed, I do have quite a few different characters listed. You're welcome to tell me what you're thinking of. What I don't get into is getting down to literally drawing someone's RPG character for those prices. That gets into more complexities and a lot more reference and research. This is for stuff like tonight where I kind of had a lot of creative freedom. So that's going to be upgraded to our site, so you'll have more options. There is no way to actually purchase a Magic the Gathering Artist Proof card on my website. You have to send an email and inquire to what I have available, because I have so few. For instance, this right now, that is the last Castle Artist Proof card I have. So in any case, this is an option, But like I said, a simplified version of this will start around $100 and go up to as much as $350. I would put this at about a $250 value, anyways, as typically what I do and what I've sold in at least from March before. So obviously I haven't done much of anything as far as conventions and shows because we've been closed. But that would be typically what I would command for these kinds of things. And so that's just something to just want to throw out there. If you guys have any interest in having one of these yourself, and perhaps you'd like to have it done as a live demonstration here on the Patreon, that's something we can make arrangements for as well. So this guy here will be shipping out after the holiday to go to California, I believe.
Yeah.
In any case, let's talk about some other things. Let's talk
about
about
the drawing we got to do.
Yes, indeed. That was the next step. So Destiny has been loading the names into the Wheel of Winners. The Dragon Lord Cave giveaway tonight. So, without further ado, I'm going to put this back in its sleeve.
Yes.
Actually, I want to make sure everything is clean. Okay. Putting it back in the sleeve. Here we go. There it is. Protected and ready to go.
Excellent.
All right, Destiny, let's switch over to camera 2.
All right, so I'm just thinking the background.
Yes, we have to. Well, yeah. Speaking of which, I think it's about time we actually had Thing participate by perhaps providing a little sustenance. Oh, thank you, Thing. Very much appreciated. Ah, excellent. Ooh.
There he goes.
All right.
All right.
Let's see who's going to win. Once again, the 2019 Origins Library Anthology. And on the inside, you see a whole bunch of the names of the authors that participated. Really great authors involved in this. Mercedes Lackey, Tracy Chowdhury. You've got Sarah Hands, Aaron Rosenbaum, R.L. King, Addie King, Gregory Wilson, John Helfers, Sarah Hans, Jennifer Brozek. And they really are really cool stories. And of course the theme on this was very kind of pre-Raphaelite, very Arthurian, yeah. Sir Edmund Lord, what was it?
Edward Lord Leighton?
Yeah, the artist. It was very reminiscent of that whole feel. But there were really cool stories in this thing. It's a great read. There was only 10 books given to me, and this is the number 7 that's left. So we're going to continue to give these out over the next 10 sessions until they're gone. I already have my copy. You know, these were extra pieces, copies that I had. They're simply not available. There's only 500 ever produced. In addition to that, 3 bookmarks. and they are autographed in the back. All right, so Destiny,
All right.
let's put that up on the screen so everybody can see as it spins and see who wins.
Did that work? Wait. Nope. All right, 1 second.
No worries, take your time.
Let's see. I don't want that. Let's add
Ah, yes.
window screen. Where are
The cranberry,
There we go.
which, by the way, is in one of my pint glasses from series, I think it was the second series. That's the Gandalf. And no, that's not wine. It's cranberry. The wine is later on tonight after I have to paint more of my garage. That is going to be awesome. That's going to be an awesome show.
All right.
All right.
See.
What do we got?
Why are you not working? There we go. Okay.
Spin that wheel.
All right. Let me make sure that this is the correct. Yes, it is. All right, here we go. And
I can hear it.
Dan Norris.
No way!
He is the winner.
Dan Norris is the winner. Dan baby. That's he's out of Pompano Beach, Florida.
Woo!
All right.
All right. And we're back.
Awesome.
There you go.
Congratulations,
There you
Dan, for winning the book and the bookmarks. We'll be popping that in the mail after the holidays, so that way it doesn't get lost like so many other packages have.
Yeah.
Anyways, let's take some final questions.
Oh, we're about a minute plus behind because they're just now seeing the spinning wheel. So we'll wait a little bit.
Yeah, let me once again give you guys another view.
Yep.
Actually, why don't we shift over to camera one just for a little bit?
Sure. Excellent. So much detail.
And the date, I don't know if you guys can see the date on this. It's very tiny. 2001, 19-year-old card. Have they caught up?
They're just now seeing the close-up of the card, so yeah, they would have had time to
Okay.
think about their.
All right then.
There is time for them to come up with a question if they have any.
Yeah, yep. This will be my last broadcast, guys, until after the Christmas weekend. Once that, I think it will probably be either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday of the following. We're going to get back on the painting of the Knights Templar and the angelic entity that is guiding them through the perilous forest. And we'll do that episode. And then we'll probably do one more. Usually we do two of the painting ones. So we're going to try to grab two, definitely one more for sure, but we're looking at grabbing two more broadcasts before the New Year's Eve. And so that's my goal. So sometime between the 26th and the 30th. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and naturally this is going to be up for a while so you guys can check it out.
Corey says, let's see the wheel again. I want to find my name on it.
Where is? Oh, the wheel's gone now, huh?
Yeah. AJ says, just excited to see what's to come. Awesome.
Excellent. Well,
Yay.
guys, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank
I hope
you.
that for all of you that like to dabble in graphite sketch work and drawing work, you got an opportunity to see how I use the variant different softnesses of the graphite to be able to work. Going from that HB or the fine graphite to do the line work, the light line work, and then going in with an HB or even a 2B to be able to get a little bit mid-tone shadows, or even a B. I think we worked on the B for a lot of those mid to soft, subtle tone changes. The etching, the texture work, especially in the face. And then finally went into the darker, we went into the 4B and then 5B and then 6B. So, and then of course with the tortillon, you saw how you can back off backgrounds, and especially in the background, the tree area there. But also creating a nice soft subtle shadows here, blending, and then finally with the kneaded eraser and the chisel eraser, which I love. I gotta tell you, these Faber-Castells are great, the dust-free erasers. They give you a nice clean line. And that's pretty much it. So you guys have a wonderful Christmas. I hope that you guys can make the best of it, especially in the times we're in. And I look forward to seeing you after Christmas. I'll be posting the next time and dates sometime right after Christmas. Have a great night, guys.
Merry Christmas.